Welcome to Cleveland, where the bridges are short, the winters are colder, and the hopes are always high. We're here to tell you the story of the Cleveland Browns, a tale of grit, determination, and that unwavering belief that next season might just be the one. So grab your bottle of Glenville, put on your orange and brown, and get ready to take a trip down memory lane, because we're about to dive into the deep end of Cleveland Browns history. Now, if you're new to our channel, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. It really helps us out. Okay, let's meet the team. Alright, let's meet the man who started it all, the legendary Paul Brown. Born in 1908, Brown was a former player and coach, who, along with Art Modell, purchased the Cleveland Rams in 1945, moving them to Syracuse and renaming them the Orange. But the following year, with the help of local businessman Art Modell, Brown relocated the team to Cleveland and created the All-America Football Conference. Named the Browns after himself, the team began play on October 3, 1946. Facing off against the Buffalo Bisons before a crowd of 19,000 people at Cleveland Municipal Stadium. The Browns would go on to win their first game and their first championship. In fact, they would dominate the AAFC, winning all four of its championships between 1946 and 1949. So when the NFL approached Brown about joining his league in 1950, skeptics doubted the Browns could succeed on a bigger stage. But boy, did they prove those doubters wrong. In 1950, the Browns joined the NFL and promptly won the championship. The Browns would go on to win 9 championships between 1946 and 1964, making them one of the most successful franchises in American sports history. Paul Brown's innovative approach to the game, including his emphasis on passing and his use of film study, helped to revolutionize the way football was played, and his impact on the sport is still felt today. Next, let's talk about the heart and soul of the team, the legendary Otto Graham. Drafted by the Browns in 1946, Graham quickly became one of the greatest players in football history. Known for his calm demeanor and his ability to make clutch plays, Graham led the Browns to 7 championships and earned numerous accolades, including being named to the Pro Bowl 8 times. He retired in 1955 and was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1965. But the legend didn't stop there. After Graham hung up his cleats, another great took the field, the one and only Jim Brown. Drafted by the Browns in 1957, Brown quickly established himself as a dominant force in the NFL. His combination of power, speed, and vision made him nearly unstoppable. In his 9 seasons with the Browns, Brown rushed for 12,312 yards and scored 106 touchdowns, both of which were NFL records at the time. He was named to the Pro Bowl 9 times and was named the NFL Most Valuable Player in 1958 and 1965. Brown retired in 1965 to pursue a career in acting. Alright, so the Browns were on top of the world in the 1950s and 60s. But as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. And sadly, the Browns' dominance came to an end in the early 1970s. Despite having some talented players like halfback Jim Brown and linebacker Clay Matthews, the Browns couldn't seem to put it all together and make a deep playoff run. This frustrating stretch continued until 1971, when the Browns finally reached the playoffs. They defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFL-NFL divisional playoff game, but lost a close one to the undefeated Miami Dolphins in the championship game. The Browns continued to be competitive throughout the 1970s, but they couldn't get past the Dolphins. In 1975, they lost in the AFC Championship game to the eventual Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steelers. The 1980s were even more heartbreaking for the Browns. They made the playoffs 5 times, but each time they fell short in the postseason. Perhaps the most painful loss came in 1980, when the Browns lost to the Oakland Raiders in the AFC Championship game on a last-second field goal. To add insult to injury, the Raiders went on to defeat the Eagles and claim the Super Bowl trophy. Throughout the 1980s, the Browns were plagued by injuries and inconsistency. Key players like quarterback Brian Sharpe and running back Mike Pruitt missed significant time due to injuries, and the team never seemed to be able to put it all together. In 1985, the Browns finished the season 12-4 and won the AFC Central, but they were upset in the first round of the playoffs by the New York Jets. The following year, the team declined to 7-9. The Browns' struggles continued into the 1990s, and by 1995, the team was in desperate need of a turnaround. That brings us to one of the most controversial moments in Cleveland sports history, the death of the Cleveland Browns. On June 27, 1995, Browns owner Art Modell announced that he had reached an agreement with the city of Baltimore to move the team there. Modell had been trying to secure a new stadium in Cleveland for years, but negotiations with the city had stalled. Feeling that he had no other options, Modell decided to move the team to Baltimore, where he felt he could build a new stadium and turn the team into a winner. The move was met with outrage from Browns fans, who felt betrayed by Modell and the NFL. Some fans burned their season tickets. Others threw them in Lake Erie. There were protests, boycotts, and even a lawsuit. but ultimately, the move went through and the Browns became the Baltimore Ravens. However, the pain of losing the Browns wasn't going to last forever. Thanks to the efforts of a group of local businessmen and politicians, the NFL agreed to return a new Cleveland Browns team to the city in 1999. The new Browns were an expansion team, meaning they had to start from scratch. But despite the long odds, the team quickly became competitive. In 2002, they made their first playoff appearance in 10 years. Unfortunately, the Browns' success was short-lived, and they soon fell back into mediocrity. Fast forward to 2022, and the Browns made a bold move by trading 3 draft picks to acquire Houston Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson, hoping to turn around a team that had struggled for years. But Watson's on-field performance hasn't lived up to expectations, and he has been suspended for 11 games due to multiple allegations of inappropriate behavior. In addition to Watson's struggles, the Browns have been dealing with a number of other issues. Their star wide receiver, Odell Beckham Jr., was released by the team in November amid reports of a rift between him and his teammates. Their running game has been inconsistent and their defense has struggled to contain opposing offenses. As the Browns head into the 2023 season, they face a critical juncture. If they can't turn things around quickly, Watson may not be the answer, and the team could be headed for another decade of mediocrity. Alright, let's talk about what's happening with the team this year. The 2025 Browns are a team in transition. The secondary, once a strength, is now a question mark with the departure of key players like Denzel Ward and Grant Delpit. The pass rush, led by Myles Garrett, will look different with new faces alongside him, and the offense will rely heavily on the development of young players. Deshaun Watson's availability and performance remain uncertain, but if he can regain his form, he could lead the Browns to a playoff berth. The Browns' strength of schedule is also favorable, and let's not forget about the fans. The Dog Pound is known for its passionate and sometimes rowdy fans. The Dog Pound is one of the loudest and most intimidating places for opposing teams to play. So what do you think? Do you believe the Browns can turn things around this season? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more great stories from the world of football.